On April 1st, 2026, a date that felt like a joke, humanity stopped being an Earth-only species. For the first time in over half a century, human beings left the comfort of our planet's gravity and aimed themselves at the moon. No robots, no probes, people, and what they saw on the other side no one had ever seen before, not with human eyes. This is not a recap, this is the full story, the technical scares, the toilet that broke 240,000 miles from home, the craters that shouldn't exist, and the moment 4 astronauts watched the sun disappear behind the moon and realized they were utterly, completely alone in the universe. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is where we go deep on the missions that actually matter. And Artemis 2, this one's going to be talked about for generations. Let's go from the beginning. The last time a human looked down at Earth from lunar distance, it was December 1972. Gene Cernan climbed back into the lunar module, and that was it. 53 years of silence. In those 5 decades, we sent rovers, we sent probes, we built a space station and kept humans alive in low Earth orbit. But the moon? We left it alone. Then came Artemis, and with it, more drama than anyone expected. Before Artemis 2 ever launched, there were issues with the rocket. Technical setbacks, scrubbed attempts, engineers losing sleep. The kind of problems that make you wonder if the cosmos itself is pushing back. And then, on the morning of April 1st, 2026, the crew of 4, 3 Americans and 1 Canadian, climbed aboard the spacecraft they named Integrity, and the world held its breath. Liftoff was smooth, almost eerily smooth, given everything that came before. But smooth launch doesn't mean easy mission, not by a long shot. Once in orbit, the crew ran system checks, and that's when the small problems started surfacing. First, the toilet malfunctioned. Now, I know that sounds funny, and it kind of is, but in space, a broken toilet isn't a punchline. It's a potential mission-ending problem. In zero gravity, bodily waste management is serious engineering. The crew dealt with it quietly, professionally, and probably with more patience than most of us would muster. Then the email system went down. Communication with the ground on personal channels, gone. These aren't mission-critical failures, but they're reminders that in space, everything matters, everything has to work. Once flight controllers gave the all clear, the crew fired their engines and began the real journey. They were headed for the moon on what's called a free return trajectory, a carefully calculated arc that uses the moon's gravity to naturally slingshot the crew back toward Earth. It's elegant physics. Gravity as a co-pilot, no fuel wasted, just geometry and momentum, carrying 4 humans 250,000 miles from everything they've ever known. Here's something the textbooks can't quite prepare you for. The farther you get from Earth, the more you understand it. From deep space, the crew captured what scientists are calling some of the most complete, full Earth images ever taken by human hands. Not cameras on a satellite, not an automated probe, but astronauts pressing their faces to windows and pointing cameras at home. There's something philosophically jarring about an image of Earth that fits in the palm of your hand. The entire human story, every war, every love letter, every civilization a marble, but the science didn't stop at Earth photography. The crew conducted experiments during transit, studying how the human body responds to deep space radiation, how materials behave in extended microgravity, how human cognition holds up when you're further from Earth than any living person has been in over 5 decades. And then, the moon. As Integrity approached, the crew began seeing things that even veteran planetary scientists hadn't fully anticipated. New craters, unexpected surface colors. The texture of the moon from this distance is different than any photograph can capture. It has depth, shadow, and light sculpting ancient impact basins that are billions of years old. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared them for the far side. The lunar far side is one of the most alien places in the solar system. It's a face of the moon that has never once been seen by human eyes directly. Every image we have of it was taken by machines, robots, orbiters, never by a person staring through a window. Until now, the far side is older, more heavily cratered. Its surface tells a story of cosmic violence that the near side's relative smoothness hides. And the crew of Integrity saw it, described it in real time. A geological record stretching back to the formation of the solar system itself, witnessed for the first time by biological eyes. Then came the moments that are hard to put into words even now. Earthrise, watching the blue marble crest over the lunar horizon, the same sight that moved Apollo 8 astronaut Bill Anders to say he'd come to explore the moon, but what he discovered was Earth. Now, in 2026, 4 more humans felt that same vertigo. Then Earth set, Earth disappearing below the lunar horizon, being cut off, gone, and then a solar eclipse from the moon's perspective. The crew watched the sun vanish behind the lunar disk, replaced by a halo of golden fire. A Corona no Earthbound telescope can fully capture, because you have to be there to see it. They were there for longer than any eclipse lasts on Earth, a sustained, silent, otherworldly darkness. At that moment, Integrity and its crew were at the farthest point from Earth that humans have traveled, farther than Apollo, a record, quietly broken, announced in the mission logs almost as an afterthought. The return journey began, the free return trajectory doing its work, gravity guiding them home like a sling, and then re-entry. If there's one moment in any space mission that terrifies mission controllers more than launch, it's this. The capsule hits Earth's atmosphere at roughly 25,000 miles per hour. The air in front of it compresses so fast, so violently, that it creates a plasma sheath, temperatures that exceed the surface of the sun. For several minutes, the spacecraft is unreachable. No signal in, no signal out. Total communications blackout. Mission Control stares at blank screens and waits. Then, signal. Parachutes. A white capsule descending over the Pacific. Splashdown. 10 days. 695,000 miles. A loop around the moon. And 4 human beings. Recovered alive from the Pacific Ocean, all in good health. Artemis 2 didn't land on the moon. Let me be clear about that. This was a crude flyby, a test of the spacecraft, the systems, and the human beings who will one day step onto the surface. But don't mistake flyby for small. What just happened is the most significant human spaceflight event in over half a century. We sent people to the moon's neighborhood, watched them stare into the abyss of the far side, and brought them home. It's not a warm-up. That's a declaration. The era of deep space human exploration has restarted, and we are alive to see it. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. If you could ask the Artemis 2 crew one question about what they saw, what would it be? I read every single one. If this video gave you something to think about, the subscribe button is right there. And if you want to go deeper on the moon's far side and why it looks so dramatically different from the near side, that video is coming soon. I'll see you there.